We're a raucous group this morning.
Good morning. What a morning, huh? My name is Abigail Bottome, and I'm a member of the Worship and Music Committee. Oh. Okay, can you hear me okay? And before I say anything else, I want to acknowledge Bethany Simons, who is also a member of the Worship and Music Committee, and she will be doing a reading today. My pronouns are she, her, and hers. If you are a visitor or new to First Parish, welcome. Please reach out to one of the greeters if you have questions. The first part of our service is recorded. Following the benediction, the recording will end. Then we will go into our candles section, which is not recorded. The service will be posted on our Facebook page and on YouTube. Masking is once again optional, but we reserve the last 3 rows on the right side of the chapel for people who want to mask. We do ask that you wear a mask when singing, right? We're still doing that? Whatever. I could tell you we met with the Kingston Church and they don't, so, okay. And we'll be with them this summer, so there you go.
Yeah, I want to be able to get the windows open, but we're not quite there yet. Whatever.
Okay. Welcome to our service at First Parish, Plymouth, and I welcome you all, but oh my goodness, I want to welcome Karen back. So good to see you. Our service today is led by our minister, Reverend Arthur Lavoie. The sermon is titled Art and Meaning. Our technical services are provided by Paul Melville and Lydia Robertson. Today's live music will be performed by Sandy Hammond, and I also want a special thank you to Harper Walsh for her assistance setting up today's service. Whoever you are, whomever you love, whatever you believe, wherever you are on your journey, let us walk together this hour.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome. I also want to say hello to Karen. Thank you. It was so nice to have you back, and great to get the photos over the winter of your adventures in Mexico. I want to offer a special welcome to those who are watching online, either on our YouTube channel or through one of the public access TV stations where we broadcast the service. We're really delighted to have you part of our First Parish in Plymouth community this morning, and hope that you might be interested in joining us in person someday, or if you would like some more information about the church or about Unitarian Universalism, please go to our website, firstparishplymouthuu.org. And there you would be able to contact our office administrator, Jean, or there'll be a way to contact me if you would like to talk with me. Thank you and welcome again.
Our call to worship this morning is titled On the Brink by Reverend Leslie Takahashi. All that we have ever loved and all that we have ever been stands with us on the brink of all that we aspire to create: a deeper peace, a larger love, a more embracing hope, a deeper joy in this life we share.
Our first hymn is number 21 in the Gray Hymnal, For the Beauty of the Earth. I believe the words will be on screen. If you would prefer to read from there, please rise in body or in spirit. Please remain standing, and I want to invite our chalice lighter to come up. Here you go, if you could. And please join with me in reciting the chalice lighting words. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in freedom, to speak the truth in love, and to help one another. Please be seated, and I'm going to ask Valerie to join us up front. So our theme for this month, for May, is creativity. And today we're specifically talking about art, as you can see. And I've asked Valerie, I don't know how many of you know this, but Valerie made this chalice for the congregation. And I've asked her to talk about the chalice and its meaning. And
I was thinking I was going to talk to children, so I was going to talk about mud, playing in the mud, because this is clay. Do you know what clay is?
It's like mud, and like sometimes it air dries, sometimes it doesn't. Like you can like paint it and like shoot it.
Yeah, good.
could you repeat it, because people?
Well, I actually didn't.
It's like clay that dries in the air sometimes and doesn't dry in the air sometimes.
That's great. It does. This is, this is. It's not really mud that you dig out of the ground. It's different kinds of mud mixed together. So some of it you have to make it dry, you have to put it in a kiln. It's called a kiln.
It's a big oven, right?
It's a big oven, yeah. And that dries it. But at the time, I did pottery. It's called pottery when you work with clay. I did it for many years, and I decided I'm going to do something else. And I'm like, wait a minute, the church doesn't have a chalice. Why don't I make the chalice? This was the last thing I made, actually. So I made it in two pieces, a flat piece, and then joined it with this. And then this is called a glaze, when you put a different colour on it and fire it in the. It's fired twice.
Talk louder.
I think she's really can. So let's do this.
Yeah, we
People
should.
really want to hear. They really want to hear about your beautiful artwork. So hold on one second.
The hand on how the stand works.
Is it
Well,
okay if I just do this for now?
yeah.
I'll put it back.
Are you going to stand there?
I'm going to stand here.
Okay, so this is two different kinds of clay, and then I did one as a bowl, and then the other more as a cylinder, and then joined them together, so that the bowl was standing on a stand. Okay, and then you fire it one time, so that it's like a flower pot. You know how you get those flower pots that are red but they're not glazed? It's like that. So then I glazed it and fired it again.
And the glaze
And
is the
that's-
paint, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
this colour is the glaze, and it's fired very high. And hopefully it looks all right when it comes out the kiln.
But didn't you do this to represent the waves and the water?
Yeah, because this is Plymouth, I didn't write on it. I think I may have dated it. It's June 18, 2018. But yeah, this was the wave for Plymouth, and this is the sand on the beach.
Mm.
I think that's everything.
Yeah, that is everything. Thanks,
So if you
Valerie.
want to play with art, join a pottery studio.
And Deb will take the children out on
Learning and discovery.
a journey of learning and discovery. Okay.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
The second reading is I Have Learned So Much from God by Hafiz. I have learned so much from God that I can no longer call myself a Christian, a Hindu, a Muslim, a Buddhist, a Jew. The truth has shared so much of itself with me that I can no longer call myself a man, a woman, an angel, or even pure soul. Love has befriended Hafiz so completely that it has turned to ash and freed me of every concept and image my mind has ever known.
This reading is a poem by the Reverend David Breeden. Here's your chance. A work of art is a chance to rework the wounds of time, of self. A work of art is a shot at getting to a true image, a right symbol, a just world even. At the frayed edges, artists swirl, loving intricate spirits, searching. Every work is a shot at getting it right, meaning the world just true, at least in the eclectic swirl of the artist's mind.
Starry, starry night. Paint your palette blue and gray. Look out on a summer's day with eyes that know the darkness in my soul. Those of us of a certain age may remember these words of a song written and sung by Don McLean. I think I was a junior or senior in high school when this song came out. The song is about Vincent van Gogh, named after his painting Starry Night. A piece with swirling stars and a deep blue background. The song, and perhaps the painting, speak of some of the inner turmoil that haunted Van Gogh's life. I loved that song. It spoke to some of the inner confusion and angst that haunted my own adolescent existence. So when I went off to college, one of the first things I bought for myself, there was a fair at the college of stuff you can buy, prints to hang in your room, and they had Starry Night. I was proud that I thought I understood what the painting meant. It took me longer to realize that the meaning that I derive from this or any piece of art is only my projection. Meaning nonetheless, but only mine. I realized this was as it should be, for each of us could appreciate and derive our own meaning from any piece of art that might in fact be, and it might in fact be similar or different from the meaning of the artist who created it. We are all, after all, meaning makers. It's an essential part of human existence. to find ways that connect things we experience together into some coherent form of meaning. We do this sometimes even without conscious thought. Up until that point in my life, early adolescence, I don't remember having much of an understanding of art. The things that hung on the walls of our home were either family photographs or Christian religious images. It seemed clear and straightforward what they were about. With that song and Van Gogh's print, my mind was open to the possibility that art, the things that we create out of our imaginative understanding, out of the inner workings of our souls, could have deeper layers of meaning. Art can have meaning for the person who creates the piece, and it could have meaning for those looking at it or using it. Do you remember the first piece of art that spoke to your souls? I've got two images here. Both of them hang down the hall in my office. And I'm going to first look at this one that's up here, and it's a print by Jim Holland. He is a New England-based, a local painter, and his pieces hang in the Left Bank Gallery in Wellfleet, one of my favorite galleries. And I have no idea whether this is an actual house whose porch overlooks the ocean, or if he just kind of made it up. Could be either. One of the things I love about this painting is that it gives me an idea of the expansiveness of the ocean. That it literally goes on beyond the horizon. And if you notice, it gets a little foggy, misty, because as we all know, the end point of our journey is not always clear. If we are stretching ourselves out beyond the horizon, we're not exactly sure what we're going to find or where we're going to land. It gives me a sense of peace and calm and just a whole sense of the expansiveness of life. Now I'm going to do a little switcheroo here. Now, this painting also hangs in my office over the little sofa. Many of you have seen it and commented on it. It was painted by Cynthia Marie Bogues, a Dorchester artist. I first saw the painting at an Open Studios event. I was the minister at First Parish in Dorchester for 10 years, several years ago. It grabbed hold of me and wouldn't let me go. I had to buy it. It's actually the most money I've ever spent on a piece of art. And I cherish it every time I see it. But more importantly, the meaning that I derive from or project onto this painting is life-sustaining in a different way. These are two very different pieces of art, but both kind of speak to my soul in different ways. This reminds me of what our future needs to look like. Look at the children. What are they saying to you or asking of you? It seems clear to me that they want something. There is kind of, for me, I see a longing in their look. They're multicultural, multiracial. They're not just off playing a game as children are often portrayed. They are serious, not smiling, waiting perhaps, watching intensely for sure. The painting is titled, "Their Eyes Are Watching." Isn't it so like children to watch, to study adults closely, and sometimes to even mimic our behavior? At some point, we always come to realize that we teach them so much more by what we do than by what we say. These children represent many different races and cultures, yet they stand together, something that we adults have not yet learned to do. Perhaps they're asking us to stand with them in solidarity, all people as one. Perhaps they're reminding us that we've made quite a mess of things, and it's time for us to stop wreaking havoc on other people and on our planet. Perhaps they're waiting to see if we will truly live up to our highest ideals and care for all the children of the world. There are 9 religious symbols embedded in the landscape of this painting from many different traditions. Do we know what they are, what they mean? Here in the United States, we live in a culture that is embedded with Christianity and the Christian tradition. So I'll start with the 2 Christian symbols. First, the smallest symbol in the painting right here in the pond is a little image of a fish. Now, the fish, there is a biblical reference to that called Jesus, the fisher of men. And this symbol was used in the most early Christian communities to identify those who were followers of Jesus. Especially in times of persecution, the symbol on the doorframe of a house let people know that this was a safe place for Christians to gather. Similar to the ways, if any of you know the story of our own flaming chalice, the chalice came to us from the Unitarian Service Committee during World War II. Their chalice was posted. The Unitarian Service Committee worked in Europe to help people fleeing the Nazis. And the image of a flaming chalice was posted on door frames of safe houses. And that's how that and then after the war, different churches and now our whole denomination use the chalice as a symbol. The cross, on the other hand, which you see here as a shadow from the tree, did not emerge as a Christian symbol until the 4th century. For the first few centuries, Christian iconography displayed a living Jesus or glorified Christ figure. When the Emperor Constantine had a vision of a cross and united his empire under Christian rule, the cross was used much more as a religious symbol. While we're looking at the tree, do you see the yin-yang symbol embedded in the tree? This represents Taoism and the belief of complementary forces interact to form a dynamic system that shows a balance between opposites. Everything in life has both yin and yang properties. At the top of the tree, there's a Hebrew menorah. In ancient Israel, the temple menorah had 7 branches representing the 7 days of creation in the Hebrew Bible. And in the sky, there's also a Star of David, symbolizing that God, or Yahweh, rules over the universe and watches over people from all directions. Then also in the sky, we have the Star and Crescent of Islam. Now, let us remember that most travel in the early Islamic world was at night in the desert when it was cooler, and stars were critical in marking the path forward. This also represents the guidance of Allah illuminating our way through life. In the middle of the lake, we have the Om symbol from Hinduism. In Hindu theology, the sound of Om is the sound from which the earth was created. Reciting Om is used in meditation and prayer, and as it resonates through the body, it brings a sense of peace and relaxation. Our 8th symbol, there's a symbol painted into this pair of bushes here. And I do not know what it represents. I've looked online, I've tried to find something that looks like that. So if anyone has seen this symbol and knows what it means, you can help me out. Our 9th and last symbol is the one that is the hardest to find, but the most obvious once you see it. It's the largest symbol on the painting. Look at the green trees, and you will see a reclining Buddha. Head, arm, the other arm over the Buddha's body. It's hard to find at first, but once you see it, you can never miss it. That's the first thing that catches your eye in the painting. And isn't it that way in life where we tend to sometimes miss things that are so obvious? I want to live in a world and in a community where children don't have to watch and be wary of the adults around them, especially the adults who have power and authority. I want to live in a world where there is no difference between what we say we believe and what we do. For the way we act identifies our core values, regardless of what we say. The reality of our lives has changed, and we do now live in a global village. I want to live in a world where the stories and values of multiple cultures and religious traditions are as embedded in my mind as the symbols are embedded in this painting. In a write-up about this painting, the artist Cynthia Marie Bogues says that one of the inspirations for the name of the painting is the book Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. The children here are all looking out at us. Cynthia Marie Bogues writes that this could also inspire us to think that the God they are watching is within each and every one of us. May it be so. Amen, and blessed be. We Would Be One is our closing hymn. It's number 318 in the gray hymnal, or the words will be posted on the screens. I invite you to be seated for the benediction, to get comfortable in your chairs. Please put your feet on the ground and join with me in chanting the sound of Om. Amen. As I look around the room, I see so many people who have done so much for this congregation, and we are grateful for all that you do. And we ask once again that you be generous with us in this morning's offering, which will now be gratefully received. Well, I run to my office and get something. I forgot. Please be seated. We now take a moment to share the candles of our lives with each other, those joys and sorrows and milestones that have touched our lives and our hearts since the last time that we've met. And then I invite us all, I'm not sure I can fit another candle in there, so let us light a virtual candle for the joys and sorrows that remain in our hearts this morning. Let us pray. Our lives are so richly blessed by this community, by our creativity, by all that we do to bring meaning into the world. May we each let the creativity of others touch our souls, and may we each find within us our own creative impulses and what they move us to do. Let us pause for a time of our own reflection. I'm just going to chant all again. So we can't find where I used this before. There was something that we put in the order of service for the Song of Inspiration, and we don't have music, and my voice is a little scratchy, so I don't want to try to sing it. So I'm going to invite us for the Song of Inspiration to once again chant the Om. Om. Thank you all for being here. The only announcement I have is that because Jean will be gone, the office will be closed this week. She will be in the office for a bit on Friday.